Welcome, my friend, to Next Level Change Success. I'm Therese, a change strategist and practitioner with over 20 years of experience designing and delivering impactful change programs across various industries. In this podcast, I share real-world practical strategies to help you create and deliver positive change experiences, whether you're a leader, practitioner, or someone looking to bring new ways of working to life. In today's fast-paced world, change is constant. Here we focus on how you can put people at the centre of your change strategy, because people with a sense of purpose are the most important link in driving performance. So if you're ready to create meaningful change and achieve all the success that comes with it, keep listening. Together, let's change the conversation and take it to the next level. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Next Level Change Success. My name is Therese and I'm the founder of myvirtualchangemanager.com. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm recording on Tharawal country and pay my respects to the traditional owners and custodians on the land on which I am recording, and to elders both past, present and emerging. An exciting topic today, which is really important for anyone who's looking to introduce change across an organisation, and this is the concept of leverage. You are going to burn out introducing change and leading change, or even delivering change if you're doing everything yourself. And I think one of the key things that people now are looking to is not just about being busy, it's actually about being effective. And as a way of being effective, you want to use leverage in everything you do and have a leverage-based mindset to introducing change. And that means you're connected with others. That means you are looking and exploring at what's already there that you can use to the benefit of your change, so that you can get better traction and outcomes with the change you're looking to introduce. And I'm going to cover off a couple of key points of leverage that you may not even be aware of when looking at change. So depending upon the type of change that you're looking at, if you're going into a new organisation, the first thing you want to leverage are the people in the organisation, the knowledge that they have, the experience they have. Depending upon the type of change that you're bringing in, you will want to connect in with people where different points of the change may be lining up with their functional area. I can think straight away of a couple of key areas as a change practitioner that I would leverage, and that's the existing learning team, the existing communications team, the existing marketing team. If there's a human-centered design team, absolutely a CX team, customer experience team, I'm going to talk with them. If there are HR practitioners around the place, I'm definitely going to talk with them as well and connect in with them. Now, they're the basic areas that I would connect in with people. It doesn't mean I'm asking them to do anything for me. What I am doing is talking with them about the type of change I'm introducing, to get their feedback, input, thoughts, they might say, oh, you should connect with XYZ. So it's leveraging people in your organization. Now, if I'm a leader and I'm in an organization and I'm looking to introduce change into another team, then I'm going to be both supporting my team to connect in with different members of that team, but I'm also going to go to the leadership members of those teams, have conversations with them, talk to them about the change we're looking to make, which might impact their area. Who can you nominate, or who do you think would be best that I can connect my people with your people? Once again, looking to leverage through connection via the people. The other key thing is frontline input, counsel, connection that you absolutely always need to touch base with if you're going to be implementing change into other areas. And if I'm a leader, I'm going to listen to someone who might be talking, who's from the front line, sometimes more so than even people in my own team, if I feel like my people are a bit disconnected from what goes on the ground. And in organizations, even if there's processes that exist, people typically don't follow them, or there's different variations on a theme when it comes to existing processes. So it's important to understand some of the existing challenges that people might be facing. You can only do that through having conversation, listening, capturing some of the challenges or objections that people might have, so that you can make sure, once again, if you're in a leadership role, that your team are addressing that the design addresses that. And you can only do that through engaging impacted areas and listening. The other aspect of people is they bring experience with them, so they can talk to you about previous change, which might be similar to the one that you're going to be working on, and talk about where it worked, where it didn't work. And you might want to ask those questions. Has this been something similar been done before? Did it work? Did it not work? What could we learn from that? And then make sure that as you're going through and delivering your change, that you want to obviously leave a bit of a legacy with that around lessons that you've learned through that process as well. Now let's step into process. And I touched on a little bit before about if there's an existing process, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's actually following that process. Sometimes there are no processes at all. And so you need to have the conversation with the people who do the function and ask them, have they got their process mapped? If not, you're going to be stepping into okay, I will map your process so that I can understand it. Is this what it looks like? Is this what the experience is? So that you can get your current state, then also map your future state. It helps you assess the change itself. And also the benefit of process is sometimes the process cuts across different divisions or different business areas. And so understanding those touch points means that you can scoop in the individuals who might have a role to play in the process, and that you are ensuring that they're all informed about the change and they understand what's happening or changing insofar as their world and their role they have in that process. So of course, if you're lucky enough that there are process maps, that's fantastic. If there aren't process maps, it is worth making sure that some are created so that can then also help the training. So there's heaps of benefit within organizations when you're actually mapping processes. So many benefits. And being able to establish those helps that when you go to iterate again and continuously improve, you have a basis on which you are jumping from to be able then to talk about what stage in that process is going to get updated as you head into a continuous improvement loop with that process. The other thing with process is if you have worked long enough in organizations, you typically understand the basic functions that sit within an organization. And so when you're going across into other areas or other organizations, if it's a service-oriented one, well, you know that there are service-oriented processes when it comes to delivery. And so you're thinking about what policies and procedures wrap around this process. And so you can step into any organization on a particular change. You know, if it's a procurement change, for example, then you're going to talk to the procurement people, you're going to talk to finance, you're probably going to be talking to those who manage supplier relationships. And so all parts of that process, you are going to find out who has control of that function so that you can make sure you're engaging the right stakeholders. Very, very different to, of course, if you're making a basic, CRM change. Not that that would be basic, but if there's an existing IT system that your front service delivery people use, that's very different to procurement, which once again is different to risk management, which is different to rah. So if you've got HR changes, for example, there's typically a process that you go through to be able to roll out HR change, and that's a HR process and HR-driven process, but it will have operational impacts, it will have IT impacts because of structure changes within a system, core system. So you start to know from your experience, and as you build up your experience in the different types of change, who you need to start to find out where does this function sit. When you know where that function sits, you can go and engage. Then, of course, you can ensure that everyone's rallying and contributing from a process standpoint. Once again, you're leveraging the concept of processes. You're going to leverage the people through that process, of course, and the engagement and the existing expertise that sits there. And some people will have documents, things that they've possibly put pen to paper or finger to key to actually be able to create processes. So documentation, records management. If you've got a project management office, hopefully they're keeping a log of all of the different project artifacts so that you could review those, look at those, not have to reinvent. Gives you a good starting point. If you're in a various area of an organisation, it is important to have a look at some of the work that has been done before. I know people can skip over that step and just start creating things to their own detriment. And it is worth taking the time, once again, because it's a form of leverage, that you look at existing documents. And you would be surprised, or maybe not surprised, at how many times I've gone into organizations and I'm not really originating or starting with something that's original. I am going to have a look to see what my predecessors or the prior change manager or whoever it may be, what they've already developed, to see if it is of value. Now, sometimes it's not of value. Sometimes things are just half done, not really accurate, because that's where the project was up to. And so then you kind of greenfielding it a little bit and obviously leveraging across the PMO or the change practice. But oftentimes, if you're taking on a business as usual role, there's already good work that's been done, but it has got to a point where either it needs to be modified to be relevant, or it needs to be built upon, or it was a good concept, but it hadn't been quantified accurately for it to be able to be justified as a way forward. So you need to have a look at existing documents, assess them, if it's a keep, if it's a build, so build upon what's there, or if it's a delete and move on. And just by doing that, you're going to be able to leverage, where possible, predecessors' knowledge and also continue the journey that some may have started. The other key area for leverage is your own experience. And I'm a big fan of people being generalists, so having some expertise in various areas, but having many tools that they can draw upon. And I probably say I'm a fan of it because that's a lot of my own background. Different types of change, different expertise, whether it be project, whether it be marketing, communications, whether it be change, recently more some L&D experience, and continually diving into various areas of specialization, but then being able to rise up out of that and still keep that generalist mindset, but then be able to build some specialist skills within that is extremely helpful and can help you leverage. The amount of times I'm going into a change and I'm thinking, what did I do before that lends itself to this? Well, I remember in that organization, whether it was a financial institution which had a network, was very similar to the other organization which had a network, and considering that is really, really important. So experience in a range of change versus specialization in just one type of change is an area where you get massive leverage when it comes to maximizing your experience. If you've only done one type of change in different organizations, you get a bit of variation, but being able to do different types of change at different levels just really does put you in a category that's not only unique but highly leverageable, if that's a word. And then I am going to talk about AI, because AI can be leveraged from a productivity perspective. You still need to know, if you're using a ChatGPT type tool, you still need to know what the change is. You still need to know what the impacts are. But you can leverage ChatGPT to ensure that you've covered everything, and it can provide feedback on your plan or the type of change. And you don't need to put anything that is commercial in confidence in a ChatGPT to have that, to be able to get a general feel of what should be included in a change plan in this industry, this type of change, what type of recommendations would you have. Something that's quite general like that can still add value. And obviously when it comes to copywriting, things like that, you still need to know the detail. But then you can provide it, you can do a rough draft, throw it in there. Can you give me feedback, simplify it, make sure it's easy to understand, get back what edits and recommendations there are, and then make further changes yourself. So it's working in partnership with AI, and it can really help level up your expertise and give you great leverage. Could just be a review, presentation. Once again, you have to make sure that you've got those boundaries clear around commercial and confidence material. You don't put anything that's specific into a ChatGPT tool. As a professional, you have to be very clear on your boundaries around the use of AI and also within your company policy, without doubt. But there are many AI tools that you can use to leverage, and I suggest that you do, because more time can be saved. You can improve your productivity, and then you're adding your experiences, the value and the relationships, the interpersonal connection that you can have to really make sure that your change is effective and you get good outcomes. So there's just a couple of areas for leverage, just a couple. People, process, documentation, which may have existed before, your own experience, and under people, it's the experience of others. AI. These are all areas that are just fantastic so that you can be more effective with your time, better output, better approaches, and helps you really step into your own as a change practitioner or as a change leader, a leader of change, or a change influencer across your organization. So explore those areas. Think about the areas that you're not really using to your benefit, but also to the benefit of the individuals, because when you're respectfully connecting in, not just to, I would say not to use people, is to connect in with people and then to respectfully work with them and leverage their knowledge. People are more helpful than you ever think when it comes down to approaching this in a really respectful manner and a very collaborative manner. So do that. And know that you're not on an island. Change never ever gets delivered on an island. You are in fact a facilitator and a change creator, and you're working in with people across the organisation so that the outcome can be optimised across the organisation. Thanks for listening. I hope this has provided you with some insight, reflections, maybe some areas that you might want to step into and explore more when it comes to your change and what you're looking to deliver. Come to myvirtualchangemanager.com. We always have so much going on, and there's definitely some great courses coming up. So come and have a look, sign up to the newsletter, stay in touch, and have a great day. And just remember that change matters because your people matter.